Hello! We're doing something a little different again. This is normally the week where I would be doing a short-form video essay? I don't know. If the script is 1,000 words, I think it counts as an essay. But anyway, I'm presenting something specific and tailored and dignified. And normally, I would be saving this for the off weeks, where Fox and I do things together, because Fox is here.
Hello!
Yes, but we're very close to the release of the Magic set Bloomburrow. And with Bloomburrow's arrival, we're going to be having Outlaws of Thunder Junction leave the current everyone's paying attention to it zeitgeist. So, I think this is my last chance to put out any content that's like Thunder Junction-y. And no, normally, that's not an important thing for me. I don't have a lot of stuff in Thunder Junction I want to talk about, aside from the fact that I just like the set. But there is something in the art direction for Thunder Junction that I think is very important. For those of you not familiar, Outlaws of Thunder Junction is the most recent Magic set that actually matters. Sorry, Modern Horizons 3, I don't care about you. And it's set on a desert plain that's meant to evoke Wild West themes and have a villain overarching contact point. So all sorts of famous old characters are coming back as basically villainous cowboys. And I think that's cool as hell.
I love magical cowboys. I heard a lot of people complaining that the story felt kind of half-assed in terms of, like, people's character progressions and whatnot. And I have to say I sat there the whole time going, I would take any story excuse they came up with to do magical cowboys.
I've seen a lot of complaints about Thunder Junction that seem to have this vibe of like, why is Jace here? Why does this have to be about Jace? Which is one of those things that I think that at a certain point you just have to accept, Magic community, that you are just a hater. And it's okay. I myself am a very well-entrenched hater. There are all sorts of things I will happily hate on if you give me the opportunity. Like Final Fantasy XIV. But anyway, this set had with it a bunch of new mechanics, including Saddle and the Mount subtype. This meant that we got for the first time a whole bunch of different animals in Magic's special hypered fantasy reality that are meant to be in that special category of creature that we consider friend.
Surely all animals are friend.
That's an interesting take.
That's a green take. That's a spicy hot green take for you there, friends.
Alright, and I thought, given that Fox is both a elitist snob when it comes to art, and the animals and pet companion category of RPG versions of a wife guy, that it would be a good exercise to present to you the Mounts of Thunder Junction, and to play a special game we are calling Pet or Pass.
We're gonna play a little game. It's like Smash or Pass, but for asexuals who just want cats. Hi! We're gonna talk about which of these animals we definitely want to take home and have them be our pet forever, and which ones should probably stay respected and undomesticated in their natural habitat to be wild and free forever. Go, I couldn't possibly contain you. Live free.
Starting up, we have this.
That's a horse wearing a cactus.
Yeah, that's just a horse. I'm real sorry, Alchemy team. This is a Alchemy card, so it only exists on Magic Arena. It's digital only, and it has mechanics that only work in a digital space. I'm not that high on Alchemy in general at the moment, because they decided to let the Lord of the Rings cards be Alchemy legal. So imagine, like, baby standard, and also you constantly have to deal with the One Ring. It's not a fun place. I don't like it. But yes.
None of that is this horse's fault, though.
But when you're presented with the wild and open fields of digital magic, where you could do anything, you make a horse.
Probably wouldn't just have a horse wearing a cactus. It's true. This horse is a suitable pet, but I don't need it. I'm sure there's a horse girl who would be very happy to have it.
Like, as is established by all of human history.
Yes.
A horse is a perfectly good
They're very
friend.
popular.
Next up.
Ooh! Now that's wearing something cooler than a cactus. Oh, I love how the art is being wings. That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, the art has the clouds being wings. That is sick.
Yep. This is a seraphic steed, and it's a unicorn.
Yep. I mean, this one's an easy pet.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't want a unicorn? I'm still not much of a horse girl, but, you know, it can probably fly as well if it wants to.
Weirdly, it doesn't.
It doesn't gain flying?
No. In fact, this is a this creates 3/3 angels.
Okay.
If you attack while it is saddled. One of the mechanical
You're
details...
saying it's covered in bitches.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
One of my favorite things about the saddling mechanic is that the power of the creature saddling it is important. So there are a bunch of cards where they have a saddle value of 1 or 2, which is to say basically anyone can saddle this thing and ride it, whereas this critter has a saddle value of 4, which means you need 4 or more power.
Ah. So also I have to be a 4-power creature to, for this unicorn to accept me. I'm probably not a 4-power creature.
What makes this even more funny is in the colors this card is, most of the creatures with 4 or more power that could saddle it are also mounts.
That was going to be my next question. Can you saddle a mount with another mount? Can you just stack horses?
You can pile them on top of each other.
That's some real Playmo shit, that is.
In fact, if you're in a situation where a board is really stalled, I have had situations where I've had 2 mounts mount each other and then not attack.
That...
Yes. That doesn't get you another mount token.
It should. It definitely should.
Moving on from the Seraphic Steed.
I love him! Oh, this stinky little fucker is my new best friend.
What do you mean little?
Well, you know.
This is a possum the size of a rhino.
But it's got the personality of a little guy, because it's an opossum.
It's true, and it's definitely looking around town with the confused look of just a little guy.
Now see, this mount is also just wearing a cactus, but it's not a horse, it's a giant opossum. So...
Also, it's worth noting, some of those cactuses are growing on it.
Are they?
They're flowering.
Oh, it's got quills as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's some kind of dire fucking monster possum.
I love it. I love this card so much.
It looks thirsty. Someone should get it a drink.
Yes. So, we're definitely accepting this as a pet.
Pet! I assume we're not keeping a list of... Holy shit! Well, I don't think I'm allowed to have this as a pet, because I think it already belongs to this guy who's like a paladin, right?
You are in fact correct. This is an example of a Thunder Junction paladin. This card is not available as a mount. This card is just a dude that you can have as a card.
Okay, well, I respect this pet and its noble dedication to its noble rider. Obviously it can't be my pet, but I salute this moose.
So, this is an example of what I call doc core, in that I will occasionally see in other games art like this, and I have to show this to Dr. Structo. Doc has no reason to care about Magic the Gathering at all, but this is extremely Doc stuff.
Fucking... I love the overlap between... I think that's a new record for me saying fuck in a video.
You've done really well.
Yeah.
We've had minutes without a fuck.
I love how this is the point of overlap between Western and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
The fucking cleaver saw.
Uh-huh. But yeah, so this is apparently there are moose that accept riders in Thunder Junction, and that's terrifying.
That is mooses are so fucking scary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're so cute. This is a brushwag?
This is a brushwag!
First of all, I love that there's another brushwag.
Yeah, we've been getting a couple of brushwags now. We've got like 5 brushwags.
And I love how much of a little armadillo it is.
Yeah, it's very clearly an armadillo and a tumbleweed, right?
Yeah, that's so good. Doesn't look like it'd be very comfortable to ride, but since this is pet or pass and not mount or pass, which sounds
way
distinctly worse than smash or pass, this is like a top tier pet, and also comes with the turtle. So I'm having both. Bonus!
Most notable thing about this beastie is its name is Ornery Tumblewag.
A Tumblewag! I love Tumblewag.
Isn't this great?
Yes! Doesn't look ornery, I'll say that. It looks very friendly, actually.
Yeah, though also, those claws are the claws of an animal that doesn't do friendly the way we do friendly.
Well, that's true. Ooh, strong. Alright, this is not like a cuddly little guy.
No, this is not a little guy.
But this is definitely a rad battle friend.
So, I'm not an expert in how porcupine faces go. But this to me looks almost like a monkey porcupine.
It is a little monkeyish, but you would be surprised how monkeyish some porcupines are in the face. Specifically, this looks mostly like a fucking, I think it's an African porcupine.
Yeah.
which is not the most monkey kind of porcupine. But if you've ever seen a prehensile-tailed porcupine, just like a tree-climbing porcupine...
They're what?
I think they might be from South America, I'm not sure.
That's amazing.
But they have like a full-on little piggy snout thing going on.
Huh.
Like a weird little snuffly... Yeah, it doesn't exactly look like this either. But, like, you know, the teeth are... Oh, hang on, no, those bottom teeth are not big enough. Because porcupines have full-on rodent teeth, is the thing you gotta remember.
Oh, yeah, they
like,
do,
they
don't
have
they?
huge top and bottom incisors, and artists are always good at getting the top incisors on rodents, but not the bottom ones a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're right,
They forget those.
Alright.
Still, this is about 50% porcupine and the rest is bear, so
Yeah.
that's a bear-looking body.
Ooh, yeah, well...
And it's also, like, it's not got quills all the way down, it's sort of got, like, a crest right on the hump of its back, but then it's got, like, a tail of quills. So it's not really quilled like a normal porcupine either.
I have a suspicion this thing is meant to, like, flick its tail and throw quills, which seems a very untidy way to do things, but whatever.
It's, I mean, I hate that because porcupines can't do that. It's one of those misconceptions.
Yeah, tarantulas do that, and people assume...
Tarantulas do that,
Yeah.
What? Surely there wouldn't be any tarantulas in this set for throw horrifying monster quills and things. Put a pin in that and a content warning, I guess.
So, pet or pass?
This is definitely pet, but like in the context of, this is my ranger animal companion who's gonna come fight at my side and really fuck a guy up.
Yeah, this is Ragazan stuff. And if you want to know what that means, come read my blog. So
that seems like a very impractical way for Mount to work.
Yeah. So, just as a detail, this is another card that isn't technically a mount. It's just a card that has the word mount in its rules text.
Okay.
What this is basically it's a mana dork, and it can tap for 1 mana, or it can tap for 2 mana if that mana is going to be used to cast a mount.
Okay.
So this is a mount expert, and that means that whatever the hell this bird is, that's something that they've chosen to ride.
So the actual creature is
the dude.
The dude catching them out. Well, I really like his style.
Yeah. He looks like he looks like a villain from a Lucky Luke skit, but, you know.
He looks like the guy from the Rescuers Down Under.
Well, I don't know. You might not be remembering Leech very well. Anyway, what do you think of the bird? Pet or pass?
It's a pretty good bird. I like how it's, like, very obviously leaning into dinosaur territory.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is halfway between a chicken and a fucking Archaeopteryx.
Uh-huh. I especially like the horrifying mouth.
There's a horrifying mouth. That looks like it has the, like, internal teeth like a penguin has.
Yeah. Google penguin teeth sometime.
I don't think I need this for a pet. I think I'm going to admire this one from a distance. Also, God, it's so big.
It's so big.
That's too much bird for me.
Incidentally, this is a 2-2, because apparently it's just the guy. So I assume this means the bird leaves.
Oh, these are fucking horrible.
I love them so much.
I do. I love them. I think we're very quickly heading into I can't have this as a pet territory because, I wouldn't stop it from eating policemen on the street.
Is it the combination of badger and rattlesnake that's the problem? Or is it the 6 legs?
Where does it get 6 legs from if it's half badger? Like, it's obviously badger and snake. Where are the legs coming from?
Just picked them up somewhere.
Is it also kind of scorpion? Maybe it's less snake and more scorpion.
But that's a rattle tail. That is a rattlesnake tail.
Is it?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't know. It's got like a flare at the base of it, which is not really how rattles go. They just tend to be like a little sort of cone.
I guess it is pink. It could be a tongue.
It's kind of a displacer beast. It's kind of a badger displacer beast.
Yeah, this thing rules.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking horrifying. And great. Probably can't be my pet, but I like it a lot. It's the kind of thing, this is like a white tiger situation where you're like, okay, I understand that some fucking moron in America finds this to be an appropriate pet. But they're wrong. They've always been wrong. And I live in a country that's sensible enough to say you can't do that.
One of the details about this beastie, by the way, is that the card that this one is, dumps stuff off your library into your graveyard when it's mounted, and then gets bigger based on how many creature cards are in your graveyard. So this is like a 2/2 for 2, which is a perfectly acceptable thing to be attacking with on turn 3. And then also, once it gets a mount, it's digging stuff into your graveyard and becoming enormous.
It's like eating other mounts.
It doesn't have to be mounts in your graveyard. There are other creatures.
Oh, just any so it's like you send it to the pet store and it just like threw everything in the trash, and later on it's going to work out what's edible.
The energy I get out of it is that it's digging and growing stronger from the process.
Oh, yeah, okay. Milling is represented by like digging or mining a lot, isn't it?
It is not uncommon to hear this referred to the I'm digging through the top of my deck.
And it's like stashing things in borrow for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can work it. It's still horrifying.
Yeah, again, Ragazan stuff.
Definitely gonna rip the face off an old lady.
This is a thing which, like, an expert would say, I can have one. No, you can't. Ooh. What are we looking at here, Fox?
What are we looking at? This looks like an antelope and a puma.
Uh-huh, a little
like
bit,
a mountain lion.
I've been informed that the hooves/feet are very similar to mountain goats.
Yeah, you'd be goatee.
This one's especially weird because this is a specific creature. This is a legendary mount.
Yeah, okay. Who's this then?
Their name is Fortune, and they are a loyal steed.
Okay.
That's all we know about them.
Who's loyal steed?
Shrugs.
It's like a Hachiko situation?
Again, big shrugs.
Okay. Well, I guess that's off limits for a pet then. It's
someone else's.
got its own business. Godspeed, Fortune.
Mm-hmm. Any opinion on Fortune as a critter?
It's alright. I'd be lying if I said that face wasn't upsetting me a little bit.
Yeah, just
I
a
don't
little.
know. It's kind of like skeletal. Like, it's more of a cow skull face than a cow face.
To me, its face is taller than its eyes need. It almost feels like there are two faces there, and one's been painted over.
Yeah.
But
it's got a weird vibe.
But we're going to get to weird vibes, so, you know.
Okie dokie. That's a bear that is also a cactus. Top marks.
That is in fact a bear that is also a cactus.
I don't know why that seems less threatening than the badger, but it does, doesn't it?
Yes, Fox. Welcome to the world of what a standard green 3-drop is these days, which is to say a 4/2 creature that can also give out trample.
It's weird how it's got its foot in the reins.
Yeah.
Is it trying to get them off? I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting artistic decision there. The thing that messes me up about seeing this art in full size for once is the background. There appears to be a mountain that's leaning over.
I mean, that could be a natural formation. That's not that weird.
Could. It's real big. If it is, it's really big.
Sure.
Alright. Good to go.
Yeah, I can't remember if I declared pedal pass on this bear.
So go for it now. What about this? Pedal pass.
Ooh, it's right on the line. I guess I should probably pass it for the same reason as I passed the badger, but... yeah, I'll pass it because it doesn't look real happy to be domesticated.
Yeah, actually, it looks like it's made a very formal decision about what it thinks of reins.
Yeah, like a lot of these, it looks like they're waiting for a rider. This one looks like it's disposed of the rider. Now it's just got to get this pesky gear off.
There's some Fox and the Hound stuff happening down that waterfall. All right.
Oh, hello, friend.
Oh, Canada. It's
beavering a cactus, because of course it is.
Of course it is.
I don't think cactuses make wood chips. I'm gonna level with you.
I don't think they do either.
I don't think this beaver's gonna get what it wants.
What, a place to make a dam?
Well, yes. I also don't know how you ride this, and the art is not trying to answer that question from what I can see.
Yeah, there's clearly a harness on it, and I suspect that means that the saddle is on the back.
Probably.
But because it's such a round bugger, it's hard to see it.
Uh-huh. And I love it. This is definitely a pet. I want this one. It's a beaver. It can't fuck me up too badly.
In fact, this card is one of those ones where the name is just on its own. It does all the work, which is to say it's a giant beaver.
Oh, well, as night follows day, I suppose.
It's just a giant beaver. This is also in the realm of, like, what's a green common get you these days? It's 4 mana for a 4/4, vigilance, whenever it attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on one of the creatures that saddled it.
Oh.
And it saddles for 3, so it's not free.
I do like counters, though.
And let me tell you, Big Fat Vigilance Boy, real useful.
I do like Big Fat Vigilance Boys as well. That's one of my favourite things in Magic.
Squarely in the pet camp, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at you!
Behold, a horrible goblin has arrived.
That is a horrible goblin. I love it. Have you adjusted this art, or is it presented sideways?
This is how it is presented.
What a choice.
This card is such an important historical note. It's amazing. This is the Archmage's Newt.
Okay.
It's a salamander.
Okay.
And it is the first...
It's definitely not a salamander, but okay, continue.
It is the first 2/2 for 2 with no drawback in blue. Ever
this
printed.
is the new blue baseline.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Blue, you finally got a bear. Bears are bigger now.
Yeah, it's true. Bears are now 4/2s. Sorry, Blue, you have to catch
Still no
up.
bears, but you can have this slimy little bastard.
It's the only blue mount. It's so good.
I'm in favor of this lizard. I shall gladly have it as a pet.
I'm not riding it. This seems extremely unwise.
I assume it's got more in common with, like, D&D salamander than real world, because salamanders don't have fucking teeth like that for stuff. I don't know if they have no teeth at all. I think they might have no teeth at all, but
There's bug eyes.
they definitely don't have teeth like that. Alright, one of my favorite things to do with fantasy animals is just to take an existing thing, slap some cool fucking horns on it that don't belong there. So I am very here for this fucking ram lion.
This is a bounding Felidar.
Okay, cool.
And you are at least tangentially familiar with Felidar because of the Felidar Sovereign, which is in your Life Gain Commander deck.
That's where I know it from.
Which is also a great big cat thing with antlers.
Yeah. Cat things with antlers are cool.
This is, I think, the highest toughness on any mount to start with. It's a 6 mana 4/7 with whenever it attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each of those creatures.
I note that it is also not wearing a saddle. Or,
No.
I'm going to say her because this looks more like a lion than a mountain lion to me.
It's true. It doesn't.
And the absence of a mane therefore implies that it's a girl.
Yeah, I do think that this is. It feels like this is a femme one, which that's a weird thing for me to.
It's
perceive.
a weird thing to say, but it's if you're going to take an animal with such obvious real world sexual dimorphism and use it as a fantasy inspiration, I'm going to take a cue from that. So, I love her. Probably not a pet. She looks so happy just being free and running with these horses who are not terrified of her for some reason.
Well, that's the thing that strikes me as really interesting because horses are both pro-social and herd-driven. If this is moving with the pack with a herd like that, they accept her.
Yeah, plus which, lions are also, like, the only pro-social cats that we're aware of, so...
Pretty cool.
That's quite a thing. Anyway, be free. Live your beautiful life out on the planet. Born free! Free to have ram horns.
Alright, next.
That does not look like a mount.
I think you will find otherwise. It is quite clearly got the mount keyword.
Can I tell my kids this is Yargle?
Not unrelated.
Well, is this also a frog horror?
It is, in fact, a frog horror.
Well, I cannot fault the artistic depiction of frog horror.
Uh-huh.
Well done.
I was wrong, this is the other legendary mount.
Oh, who's this then?
This is the Gitrog Ravenous Ride.
Oh, well, that's a name I recognize.
Someone brought the Gitrog monster to Thunder Junction for some reason. Why would you do that? Who set down the trail of Thalia arms like biscuits to lure this thing on the Omen paths all the way out to Thunder Junction? It's a swamp beast. Why is it here in what is also a desert?
I don't know who it was, but I salute their efforts. And also, clearly it has found a suitable environment.
I really like this card. I haven't played with it, and I feel like I should be sour on it because my very first draft experience for Thunder Junction involved an opponent who cast this on turn 4 against me. And this is a 6/5 trample haste that when it attacks, when it deals damage to a player, if it's been saddled, and you sacrifice the creature that saddled it, you draw X cards and then put X cards onto the battlefield where that's the power of the creature it ate. My first draft experience was getting killed by this thing in 2 hits.
It's a very realistic depiction of how quickly I'm going to regret my choice to say pet. But if I don't take the chance to have a Gitrog monster, I'll never get it again.
It's true, and we know from the past that Thalia rode the Gitrog monster back when it was a 4/4. Thalia is a 2/1. This is a 6/5.
It might be a 2/1.
Yeah. I think you're probably more
It's
of a
not
3/3.
impossible.
You're sturdy.
Oh.
You not having square stats strikes me as just ridiculous. Anyway.
I am roughly a cube.
Okay. Pet. Alright, here we go.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous.
Is there something wrong with this hippogriff wearing a saddle?
What? Yes, it's got the wrong head.
What? No, it's a hippogriff. This is a thing. Griffs in Magic the Gathering have swan heads.
Doesn't a hippogriff have... No, you're right. It's bird head, horse legs, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And-
always get them confused.
And, big shrugs. It's a complicated topic.
This is because, back when I was deciding how I wanted fantasy creatures to work, I just decided the griffins were lions with wings instead of, bird-headed.
Yeah.
Because I like the kitty face instead of the eagle.
Yeah. And there's so many mythological creatures that are effectively stick wings on it, so what's one more?
There are. Anyway, this design does not work great for me. I see what it's doing. It's valid. I don't love it.
It takes the most expressive and contactable point of a horse and replaces it with what amounts to a goose. And that strikes me as a very unpleasant thing to interact with.
Swans are, very elegant. This doesn't look like a swan to me, by the way. It's got the wrong beak. I think this is more like a heron.
I think you're right, yeah.
But maybe an egret.
This might be from Innistrad. This might be one of the griffs from Innistrad come along the Omen paths to Thunder Junction.
Could be. I suspect it's based on some kind of North American stork or something that's ubiquitous in the western areas that they're referencing, but whatever. I mean, they did put some weird shit in there that doesn't belong, so...
It's not horrible enough to be endearing.
It's not, no, and it really just highlights the fact that, a long-necked bird, like a swan or a heron or whatever, is, a beautiful, elegant thing. But not if you tack part of it onto something else that just... It just looks like its neck is all wet noodle.
Well, look, that's how our dog looks, so I don't want to give him too much...
Our dog is beautiful.
So pass on the congregation.
Picture of elegance.
No, I'm
will
not getting out
hear
of this one.
Nothing said against him. He is not at all like a cartoon of a dog. He is, but I love cartoons.
Not an animation error with an appetite.
This looks like an animation error.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It definitely looks like the head is on a different angle to the body. Alright.
So, sorry, I will pass on you, weird swan horse. Ooh.
Remember how I said I was wrong and the Gitrog is the other legendary mount?
This is the other legendary mount?
Yeah, there were 3. I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Okay, who rides a nightmare?
We don't know. But it's also not a nightmare.
Is it that person who's on fire and we just don't know who they are because they're on fire?
Possibly. This is Calamity, Galloping Inferno.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
It's a great name. And when Calamity attacks, it creates 2 copies of whatever saddled it. So I think that fiery person is a copy of whoever...
Just like a phantom.
Yeah. Big shrugs!
From someone who stayed home rather than put themselves on a horse called Calamity.
Yeah, what could go wrong with a horse named Calamity?
Yeah, a skeletal fire horse.
Uh-huh. I won a couple of drafts thanks to Calamity, and it always feels dreadfully unfair. Like an opponent is sitting there at 14 life with the board stabilized, and like, okay, this should be fine. And then Calamity shows up, I was like, oh, I'm just dead. Not like, ooh, metaphorically, I got nothing I can do about this, but like, I literally just went to 0 hit life. This is nonsense. It doesn't feel good. Like, a win's a win. I'm not giving the packs back, but still.
Well, yes, and I shall, I think, pass on this murder horse. I respect it very much, but I shan't have it as a pet. Ah! It snores! That's just a snorse, isn't it?
That's a snorse!
Snake horse.
That is straight up a snorse.
Oh, that is...
And you were saying a long neck doesn't look elegant.
Horrifying. Yeah, oh, look at this gorgeous creature.
Oh, I love it so much.
Who could pass up on a snorse? Look, I'm glad that it exists. I'm not saying I'm not.
I showed this art to my friend Decay, and they pointed out that this is such a more breathtakingly fun, awful thing to look at than anything generative media would have made.
Yeah, generative media is not even good at making horrible mutants.
But yeah, this is a snorse. It's a snake horse mount. It's not even like, some special mythological creature. It's just a snake and a horse at the same time.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, earlier we had a bear and a cactus at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Badger and some kind of horrible snake thing at the same time.
Uh-huh.
This seems not weirder.
Pen or pass?
The snorse can... it'll be fine without me, I think.
I love how even here you're not like, hard pass. Like, this thing could quite clearly eat you. It has another rider in the background already drowning in the swamp. And you're like, well, gotta be conciliatory about this. It is my considered effort that maybe...
I was gonna say, it clearly wouldn't eat me if the other rider is drowning in the swamp. Because if it intended on eating that guy, it wouldn't have let it go.
No, it just killed him for the fun of it.
Well, if it could be like a rattlesnake type venom where it actually will like bite the thing and just leave it to wander off and die and then come back and be like, alright, you good and dead now? Let's get it on. So, pass. I don't want anyone to think that I disrespect that I think the snorse is not great. That I don't love that the snorse exists. Because a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's stupid, you made a snorse. And I want you to know I'm here for the snorse.
Snorse rights.
I just recognize that the snorse is not here for me. Now, that's a fucking Gila monster.
That is a Gila monster.
Alright.
That is in fact a Gila Corsa.
Ah, sick.
It's in the name.
What creature type is that? Is it just a lizard?
Lizard.
Lizard, okay. I mean, this thing is great. I don't think I should touch it. I love it.
That's a very heat-treated saddle, I imagine.
Well, that's not going to save you from, like, touching its skin and remembering it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's a tiny detail, and I don't think that anyone involved in Wizards of the Coast did this deliberately, but it actually does make you draw more cards, and the cards you don't play stay exiled. So it does actually have, like,
fuck your memory.
Yeah, so as you're playing the game, you can look down and see, yes, that's the foolish mistake I made around that Gila monster sitting in your exile zone looking at you. I don't think that's deliberate. For anyone who's not aware, Gila monsters are a real animal. They're from New Mexico and Arizona, that part of the United States. And one of the things about them is that their venom damages your brain's memory pathways, so it becomes very easy to remember the time you got bitten by a Gila monster.
It does seem like an extremely useful thing, evolutionarily speaking.
Uh-huh.
Like, nothing fucks with you twice.
Pretty much.
And I won't fuck with this lovely creature.
So that's a pass.
Aw. Well, yeah, good little goat. Just goating around up there.
Noble. Majestic.
Yeah, that's a good, noble goat. Very straightforward. Is there anything interesting to tell me about this one, or are we just gonna go straight to pet the goat?
It's not little. It's a 3/4 vigilance. This thing can tangle with bears.
Compared to the giant badger from before.
That's true. You're not wrong on the giant fucking badger front.
Also, look, if they're not huge, terrifying monsters, they are little guys. And a lot of them are both.
You're not wrong.
Anyway, this is a pet.
Now, finally, we present to you...
Oh! Who were just talking about cats with Atlas.
Uh-huh. This is an Arynx.
This is not Felidar.
No.
Okay.
No. This is a trained Arynx. And I have learned through watching drafts just how many people will look at the word Arynx and just invent other letters or other orders of those letters in order to pronounce its name.
Why?
I don't know.
It's not a hard thing to say.
I don't think it's a hard thing to say. It's an Arynx.
It's like a lynx.
Yeah.
But it's an Arynx.
Yeah. But I've heard it called a trained Onyx quite a lot. And a trained Anx a lot. This is not to rubbish on anyone who pronounces this thing's name weirdly. I understand, especially these days, dyslexia is a thing. It's just, much like the word Ankylosaurus, it is a word I have encountered a lot of people do not follow the order of the letters in the word, which is a pretty interesting recurrent problem to have. Anyway, this is the best common in the set, and you should never pass it. That's what I've learned.
Okay.
That's a lie. Throw from the Saddle is the best common in the set. But this is real good.
I thought I was just about to say, I thought you told me Throw from the Saddle was the best common.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that's why I wind up in green-white mounts all the time.
I'm quietly struggling with this because I do like it, but it's really sending me how its antlers are coming from
its neck.
Partway down its neck.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy that.
Well, they look like they're at the top of its shoulders, don't they? Like with the way it's got its limbs forward.
Like, they don't look like they're coming from the shoulder. That would be, like, down. That would be positioned lower down with the way it's standing there. But it's still really weird, and I don't like it. Yeah,
it's a shame. Like, at card size, this is a lot more like, you can elide the details a little more, and it looks like they're coming out the back of its head, and they curl up and around. But no, straight up, this thing has weird honking horns, man.
It's a shame, because if they were pointed back, you could sit in the saddle, and you'd be holding the Atlas like you were driving a Harley.
Handlebars!
And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not like a Harley, because it's a cat, so its head wouldn't be, like, upright while it's running. But the point stands, it'd be more like a racing bike.
Well, you could be lunging forward on it also.
That's racing bike.
And,
anyway, I mean, it's pet still.
Yeah.
It's clearly a good friend.
Yeah.
But I wish for a second opinion on the design.
I think it is interesting to note that the creatures you've mostly attached to in the pet or pass stakes are the ones that you cast with white mana. Like, it's just a nice little detail that apparently they've managed to make it so the ones that white gets to cast are the ones that don't make you go, ugh, I need to be careful around that thing.
It's kind of how it should work, right? Like, white should have the most approachable looking pets.
Yeah, white should be the color of domesticated animals, green should be the color of wild animals, and the other colors should get similar animals in weird ways. But
red should be the color of angry animals.
It's true. Now,
black should be the color of horrifying snake horses.
Snores!
We've all learned a lot today.
That was the Mounts of Thunder Junction. You wouldn't think after all the time you spent talking about how you love little guys that I would leave little guys on the table. And now, the rest of the little guys from Thunder Junction.
Little guys! Little guys!
Here we go, first up. That's a very appropriate sound for this little guy.
Look, I love... I was going to say pangolins, but...
No, that's not a pangolin.
That is an armadillo, yeah.
Yes.
Still great! That's a pet. Look at his little ceremony! I love him! Pet.
That is a armored armadillo.
Exactly what it says on the tin.
And I've watched a very confident streamer get beaten to death with one.
Ooh. What are you?
This is a little snack.
A snack?
It's a snack.
That's a fascinating looking snack.
Specifically, it's an ankle biter.
It's definitely not a snake. It's a legless lizard.
Really?
Because its scales don't work right.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess the spines are part of how the scales are a bit odd.
Well, you see how it's got, like, scalloped scales on top and then, like, rimmed on the bottom.
Amazing.
That's fully a lizard thing.
Okay.
I may watch too much snake YouTube. It is doing a tail rattle, though, which is a very snake thing.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
it
assume
is.
it's sort of halfway in between.
Yeah, and that's it wrapped around a boot.
Oh, it is a little guy!
It's a little guy.
Oh, it's pretty little!
Or that's one of Rakdos's boots and it's the size of a house. But yeah, I think this is
I
a
like
little
that,
guy.
too. Okay, I don't think I'm up to handling venomous snakes, and I think this is a venomous snake, so I'll pass.
It's got death touch.
But
Probably
I've got
is.
some friends who would be into this.
Uh-huh.
It's like a lightning coyote?
That is straight up just a coyote. It is called a cunning coyote. It is apparently so fast it makes other things fast.
A, that's rad. B, totally pet. C, that has joint art with another card in this set, doesn't it?
It
I
super
can
does.
Just see a foot coming in off the edge.
Uh-huh.
Love it. Alright, well, any dog is automatically pet, so... Ooh!
So, Your Honor, I would like to speak out in favour of even the grossest and most horrible of vultures.
Uh-huh.
This is a buzzard, and the lack of feathers on the face is to stop its face from collecting fluid and blood while, like, this is a
Yeah,
thing
no,
that
and so it can stick its face fully inside something's guts.
Yeah. The Archaeopteryx style claw fingers on the wings, that's not normal.
Oh, nice touch.
But, yeah.
That'd be
this
really
is-
useful for a carrion thing, I would think.
Yeah, like, this is a super interesting kind of beastie. And, like, it's one of the problems where occasionally black cards will get something that lives in that color because it's spooky.
Yeah.
And, like, don't get me wrong, this is an entirely appropriate thing, and, like, it feasts on carrion.
I mean, that's why rats are there. Rats are an incredibly pro-social, creative, adaptable species. They're really not black, but they go in black because humans think they're icky.
Yeah.
Or rather, humans have depicted them as icky traditionally. Anyway, I wouldn't dream of taking this gross-ass bird from its important ecological niche. It's probably endangered. It can stay here. Ooh, this is...
Some variety of fish drake.
Oh, it's a drake, not a dragon. Okay, I was going
Yeah.
to say, if this is a dragon, it can probably read, and therefore it's not really pet territory.
Yeah, there's a scorpion.
You never know.
There's a scorpion dragon in the set that I was like, does this get put in the heap of little guys? And then I remembered, it's a 7/7. No.
Hey, size isn't really the important thing, but if it can read a book,
Yeah.
it can't be a pet, because that's just
a person.
fully sentient being.
Possibly a child.
Drake is fine. I don't think it's really for me.
Cacturantula!
Cactarantula! I can't have one, but I do love it.
Do you think when the person wrote Cacturantula in the file, they just went home? Like, I
like to think they did.
I've done all the work I need to do today. I have just smashed it out of the park so hard.
I recall this is one of the only cards you showed me in early Thunder Junction, and I was like, oh my god, that better be named Cactarantula.
Yes.
And it was, and I was so happy. My boy's perfect.
Big time pass?
Not much of a pet.
No.
Oh. The fuck is this angelic ox?
I think you'd find it's a holy cow.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it looks like a buffalo, actually, but I suppose a buffalo is a type of cow.
Isn't a cow the gendered term for a sub-category? No, you're right.
No, heifer is the gender.
Yeah,
term.
you're right. Huh. Look, Clodistics has told me that you can't leave a group you're in, so maybe they are cows.
That's
or
got,
maybe
like-
cow doesn't mean anything.
The horn specifically doing that is very like musk ox, or I think some water buffaloes have that kind of horn.
And I think I've seen some domesticated species of cow with horns a bit like that,
Might
so
do.
maybe? I don't know.
Or maybe you saw domesticated buffalo. And when I say buffalo, I obviously don't mean bison, which is not buffalo.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Anyway, pass or pet?
Looks like a good pet. Okay. Borderline. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with it first to find out if it can talk to me. Because there are ground rules, and it looks very intelligent.
It does look like it's judging me.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have a law degree, then yes, pet.
That might just be a childhood upbringing of
No, it looks
judgmental,
very judgy. Like that cow looks like it has a law degree.
liturgical art.
Ooh.
Yes.
You're a pretty owl.
Yes.
Look, normally I'm not here for birds, but I like this owl. This looks like it would be a great pet. Also, apparently it can deal with sunlight in a way that owls wouldn't normally be comfortable doing, so bonus.
Yeah. Thunder Junction brings with it a whole new generation of what one-drop creatures are allowed to be. And, like, this card is the kind of design that back when I started playing in Onslaught, we would have just considered preposterously overstuffed. And we would have called it overpowered, just because it does 3 things and it costs 1 mana.
I mean,
that's
back
absurd.
then, it would have been overpowered.
Well, it wouldn't have been overpowered because it's still a 1-power creature that only can do anything by attacking you 20 times. You've got ways to deal with that. But it's still, you look at a card that costs 1 mana and it's got 3 things in the text box. It's like, what the hell?
But also, as a green player, that clearly flies, so I'm not going to be able to do anything about it for like the first 3 turns until I've saved up for an overcosted spider.
Well, back in the day, Reach wasn't being given out like Tic Tacs.
Yes, that was going to be my point. Like, now, I'd be like, well, probably half the fucking common creatures have Reach. I bet Cactarantula does.
Cactarantula's got Reach!
Yeah!
Cactarantula has Reach and a giant glowing symbol of a crossbow that appears over it when you're about to attack.
Get 'em, boys!
Speaking of get 'em, boys.
Oh, hello!
Meet the irascible Wolverine.
Oh, that's huge.
It's very big.
I don't know how to feel about this, because it's a lot more like a Wolverine than artists used to draw. They used to just draw a wolf.
Yeah, they used to just draw a wolf.
But it's a lot less like a Wolverine than I would... Actually, you know what? It's good, because it looks like what a desert Wolverine would look like.
Uh-huh.
Because Wolverines are fluffy, fat little fuckers, because they live in the snow.
Yep.
So, if you had one where it didn't snow, it'd probably look like this. Which is to say, it looks like a fat ferret.
That, or it would have a chinchilla-style coat of, like, nothing sticks to this.
Oh, that'd be even better.
Yeah, but...
I bathe in dust!
I think when you get to the scale...
If you get water on me, I'll go moldy!
This is effectively a mustelid the size of a bus.
I love it.
And at that point, I can understand a lot of, like, size and proportion shifting around and being a bit weird. Like, this thing doesn't need snowshoes. This thing doesn't need the giant flappy feet. Because it can just, run off the desert and catch you.
Yeah, also it's not in the snow.
No.
Alright. I mean, it's inadvisable, but pet, right? I can't say no to a mustelid.
Yep. Blue is always a color that's lacking for little guys, but we do have this splasher.
Oh, look at him!
The eyes are a little horrible.
The teeth are a little horrible. This is a horrible creature.
It's true.
But
it's
I like
a frog
this little
with
guy.
spines.
That is a horrible murder frog. It's got like crocodile feet. I like those feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, vile, horrid. I love it.
Oh no, is this what the Gitrog monster came to Thunder Junction for?
It does kind of look like a baby Gitrog monster, right?
Yeah. No, that's wild.
Maybe it's... well, the Gitrog monster left in Thunder Junction. I'm just saying, it could definitely have spawned cursed little offspring.
That's true.
Anyway, pet, obviously. It's eating my toe even as we speak. Ah!
That's the sound it makes, and that's the sound Fox makes looking at it.
Oh, I was definitely being it.
This is a Magebane lizard.
Oh, and it hates wizards. Awesome.
It hates wizards.
Alright.
Every time someone casts a non-creature spell, it zaps them. For an amount of damage equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn.
God damn.
So it can do a lot of zapping.
Alright, fine. Lizard is pet.
Keep it happy or you get the zappy.
Ooh, that's, what is going on with that crow's head? Is it just an odd angle? It's got, like, spooky ghost eyes.
It's trailing ghostly and
Right.
eyes. This is a Raven of Dark Omen.
Okay.
Which just looks like a raven.
Yeah. It looks like a slightly haunted raven. Not, like, heavily haunted.
Yeah.
Not any real horror shit going on, but just like, something's fucked up in that bed.
Hauntish.
Alright. Good pet.
Hauntesque.
Pet. Very goth pet.
Crows.
A-game for...
Crows are good pets.
Yes, that's true, actually.
They're smart, and they can leave. So, I don't know. I fundamentally like a pet that I have to make sure respects me.
Oh, I love you.
So,
Oh, little guys!
so this is why I had to come back and do the rest of the animals.
Oh, you know me so well. Yeah, this is shot right to the top of my list. Ah, little cactus prairie dogs. I love you so much. Absolute 100%. Windmill slam pets.
Uh-huh.
I want a dozen of them.
This little critter is part of a cycle of part of the white-blue mechanic of, like, if you don't cast anything on your turn, something good happens. So you're meant to keep your mana open for the rest of for the next turn, or use it to plot cards or other stuff, or activate abilities. And in this case, it's a little 2/2 lifelinker that every turn where you don't do anything, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
Oh, it's white blue.
It's white.
It's just white.
It's just white.
Yes, I can still have one.
And
I'm not allowed blue pets.
again, they're smarter than you.
Aye!
But yeah, I've lost a number of drafts and I've won a lot of drafts, which ultimately resulted the result of this card with just a stack of counters on it.
Spiky hands. I bet the spikes get itchy and you scratch them.
Do we move on, or do we want to keep looking at the prairie dog for a bit more?
Bring the prairie dogs back later.
Okay.
Oh, that's a cool dog.
That is a sterling hound.
That's
Artifact
beautiful.
creature.
I love everything about that.
Yeah.
I don't love that it's not like a real dog, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it has dog personality.
Yeah, I'm sure someone who wanted a dog very badly made this hypoallergenic dog.
Yeah, nobody who made this beautiful a distillation of not what a dog look like, but what a dog be, has failed to give it dog personality.
I think the filigree on it implies that it's meant to be made by Sahili.
It does look like Sahili stuff.
But that might just be me going, oh, well, it's Kaladesh and therefore Sahili.
She's exactly the kind of person who would have pet allergies, and therefore make beautiful fucking liquid metal living pets.
Well, she makes beautiful liquid metal living pets of dinosaurs for her girlfriend, because Whiteley loves dinosaurs.
Well, I was going to say it would be a problem if she had pet allergies, though, because Whiteley has
A bunch
a lot
of dinosaurs,
pets.
yeah.
She's definitely a partner who comes with pets.
Anyway, yes.
Anyway, 1,000,000% pet. This is brilliant pet. Love it. What a good one. Bo!
Behold Bo, and in the background, Bonnie Paul.
Yeah, she rules.
Again, in draft, there are lots of people with lots of stories about losing to Bonnie Paul. My favorite statistic in all of the limited environments around Outlaws of Thunder Junction is that 30% of all winning blue-green decks, i.e. decks that got 7 wins in a row, 30% of all blue-green decks had a Bonnie Paul, which seems to say, look, the only good reason to be in blue-green is Bonnie Paul.
All I wanna do is pay 3 green, blue, blue for a giant woman.
A giant woman?
A giant woman. All I wanna be is winning handily with a giant woman.
Why does she bring a 6/6 as well? Why does she bring a huge creature as well? And why does her ability make Bo bigger? Because she gets you more land.
That's the other half of the coyote card!
Yep, it's the Roadrunner with protection from coyotes.
I love that they just so fucking stupid that they did it, but I love that they did it.
Uh-huh. I lost a draft due to throwing away my Roadrunner foolishly.
Aww.
Nah.
Kind of cute little sassy looking bird too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that looks like an actual roadrunner. I'm not as good at birds as I am at snakes, apparently.
It's bulkier it's a bulkier bird than a Roadrunner normally is. Roadrunners are normally very spindly.
That's what I
But,
thought.
you know, this is meant to be a fantasy creature that can fight with a bear, so...
Very true. Anyway, I guess it's not pet, only because I don't really need a giant ornery bird in my life, but... Whoa! It's another fucking noble moose!
Yeah, so,
God, look at the horns on that thing.
it is entirely possible that you've played this game and played Outlaws of Thunder Junction Limited and you not know that there is this card in it, because I think she's on a bonus sheet somewhere, but this is Selvala.
Oh, that. For a second there, I was like, wait, is that fucking Oko?
It might be.
No, if it was Oko, he'd have his tits out.
No, you are correct. This is Selvala, who's from one of the conspiracy sets. And she is a well-loved and well-beloved green-white commander for the casual crowd because she gives you lots of mana and she wants to use that mana to pay for big creatures. And this version of Selvala pretty much lives in that same space. She is a biggin. But she has a cool mount.
Is she also physically huge?
No, she's not giant.
That's a very small moose, then.
Well, she's a 4/5 in this case. But I don't think she's actually meant to be a specifically very towering lady. So yeah, this might be a very petite moose with just wind sail antlers.
It might be kind of more elk, because it doesn't really have a moose face now that I look at it. It's not really got a moose body. It's got a short body like a moose, but it doesn't seem very tall.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that its antlers have just turned into this fucking full-on dinosaur faceplate thing. That's rad.
You know what
Love that.
You know what that body is, though?
It kind of looks like a capybara.
I was going to say, it's a capybara!
Yeah, it does.
It's like a capybara elk. This thing rules.
It's pretty neat. Good pet. I presume I can't have it, but I would if it was up for grabs.
Well, she would probably share it with you. She's green-white.
Oh.
She is of your people.
Oh, we would get along well.
And in fact, she wants to command a deck which is full of creatures.
She would just open up her saddlebags one day to find a gremlin face staring up at her, which is also like expanded to fill the bag like a cat in a box. Just
And now here we get a possible corner case. This is a varmint.
Nope. That is uncomfortably human. I do not like that.
Yeah. We have a couple of varmint cards, cards that make varmint tokens. They appear to be this kind of thing with like a weird flat beavery tail. Remind me too much of Sphinx cats, and I'm not into those.
Yeah, I like that it's kind of little and skunky, but it looks way too big. And the fact that it is just naked and way too human is making me uncomfortable, so not pet, thank you. I can definitely see a different iteration of this design working for me. Should be a little guy. I think all the varmint should be a little guy. That doesn't look like a little guy. That looks like an upsetting naked man.
Well, hang on a moment. This is to show the varmints of Thunder Junction, so let me get you the other piece of varmint art we have, which is on the commander card, Thieving Varmint.
Oh, I like you. Okay, yeah. See, this is more like what I want to see when I'm thinking about something called a varmint. Like, it's horrible, but it's undeniably also a little guy.
Mm-hmm. We also have the sorcery card, Rise of the Varmints. And that looks like this.
That is a much less upsetting depiction of them.
Yeah.
They're still a bit too, like, big and dangerous looking. But I love the snapping turtle shell thing they've got going on.
The turtle shell and the beaver tail is a pretty cool combo. I like it. And the thieving varmint just looks like a DreamWorks person was asked to over-design a rat.
It does look a bit like Scrat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Better though. Oh, I don't like looking at that guy.
Alright then, here
Sorry,
we go.
You can cut that up.
Last critter.
Oh, you're so cute. Now, this is not a wag, right? This is an armadillo.
This is an armadillo.
That's a very good cactusy armadillo, though. I'm a big fan.
Uh-huh.
Definitely pet. Even though it's probably taller than me. I can't tell how big those cacti are, but it's 7'7", it's definitely taller than me.
It is a 7'7" with reach. This thing is huge.
Oh yeah, now that I notice that this bird's next to it to show me how big it is. So I did read those cacti correctly.
Yeah, then...
Anyway,
Which goes to show, size is no factor in whether or not you are a little guy. Because this is a little guy. He's licking a flower.
Yeah. Inadvisable for me to have one as a pet, but I'm still gonna say yes.
You would build a house on his back.
I would.
You have a caravan. And he just lug it around for you.
You grow a little house on its back.
Uh-huh.
That's where all my prairie dogs could live.
Yes.
All right,
there
well...
is the world of Thunder Junction. What do you think?
This shit is delightful.
I think that it's very easy when we talk about Magic the Gathering to get a little too focused on any one specific element that appeals to us. Like, I've been talking about limited play and ignoring so much stuff about the art of these cards, which is why I wanted to bring you in, because, like, these cards are some of the best fantasy art in the world right now being produced for just beautifully, breathtakingly dumb ideas. Like, what if a cat had antlers?
I love how silly Magic is now. Like, I mean, it was very silly at the start, but when fantasy became, like, very serious thing for serious people, which is probably mostly the fault of the Lord of the Rings movies in the thousands, right?
Probably, I don't know.
And it was cool because it stopped being, like, wacky fucking nonsense all the time, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. But it definitely got too serious. And, like, for a while there, it was like, oh, you wouldn't want to put dinosaurs in Magic. That's, like, little kid stuff. That's goofy. And I feel like the tone has very much shifted back to, like, no, dinosaurs are fucking awesome. And so are snorses. And I approve of this. I think that's how these things should be.
Thank you very much for coming along on this. I hope you had fun.
I had so much fun.
And now we know how to get you some cards for your art binder.
Yeah.